Hello. This is Overlord 86700 here today. And I'm going to teach you guys how to play, excuse me, Magic the Gathering. Today's category, Special Card Abilities, Part 2. I am joined here today by my 3 special guests. 1, Billy the Goat for filming this whole thing for me. 2, my sexy hands, of course, can't forget that. And 3rd, Mr. Vorstclaw. Mr. Vorstclaw, it will be my secretary or my assistant or whatever the hell, whatever it's called. Vorstclaw here, yeah. He'll be my assistant too. So, without further ado, let's begin today's lesson of Magic the Gathering. You see, it's lifting up because it's so magical. Ooh. Okay, alright. You see, from the first video that I made, you might want to go watch that if you haven't already, because some of these creatures have those abilities that I talked over. And right now, we're just going to go over some new abilities, that you will see during your Magic the Gathering experience. Now, last video I talked about Lifelink, First Strike, Trample, Vigilance, and Flying. Today, I will be talking about Deathtouch, Intimidate, Haste, Double Strike, and Regenerate. So, I'm going to start out with Minotaur Skullcleaver, which has Haste. Alright, today my opponent will be using white, and today I will be using a Rakdos deck, which is black and red. So if you can read this card right here, it says that, this creature has haste. Whenever it enters the battlefield, it gets +2/+0 to end of turn. If you've watched my other my other video, you can see the camera right there. It's such a sexy camera. Hello. Sorry, getting off track. Now, if you watch my other video, you know that creatures that enter the battlefield cannot attack this turn because of something called Summoning Sickness. Summoning Sickness in definition means this creature cannot attack until your next turn. So, Haste kind of contradicts it. If you have a creature that has Haste, that creature can attack this turn despite Summoning Sickness. So, let's say my opponent has Sarah Angel, Wing Street Rider, and I don't have any creatures on the battlefield. Okay? The Gleam. I don't like this Gleam. And let's say I go through my hand. I have enough mana to cost it, which is 3. Remember, you have to tap your mana. Mountain, come here. I tap it. And I put down Minotaur Skullcleaver. Now, because of, let's just say there's one of them. Now, let's just say that I place this card down, and, because of Summoning Sickness, you cannot attack. But because this creature has haste, I can attack this turn. To attack, remember to tap your creature. And because when I attack, its haste ability comes into effect. When it enters the battlefield, it gets +2 attack and +0 to its health. So if I attack, my opponent has to either lose 4 life or sacrifice his Fiend Slayer Paladin blocking my Minotaur Skullcleaver. So, just a little quick wrap up. Haste means that when you put down a creature and it has haste, you can attack with that creature this turn. Alright. Let's move on to a Cursed Spirit. This creature has Intimidate. Intimidate, by definition, means that a creature with Intimidate cannot be blocked except by artifact creatures and or creatures that share a color with it. Now, I already explained what certain type of cards and creatures there are, so make sure you see that video if you don't know what I'm talking about or you don't speak English. I am so sorry about that. So, let's give an example. My Cursed Spirit has Intimidate, so it cannot be blocked except by creatures that are artifacts or creatures that share color with it. Let's say my opponent has 5 creatures on the battlefield: Silvercoat Lion, Sarah Avenger, the Fiend Slayer Paladin, Winged Street Rider, and a Johnny Sunstriker. And I have a Cursed Spirit on the field. Now, unlike the Minotaur Skullcleaver, it does not have haste, so I cannot attack this turn. But until my next turn, I decide to attack. Because this card has Intimidate, it's 3/2, and none of my opponent controls a black card or an artifact card. When I attack my opponent for 3/2 from the Accursed Spirit, he has to take 3 life because he cannot block it, according to the Intimidate definition. So, well, let's say my opponent has a black card on the field, and I decide to attack. The black card is Deathgaze Cockatrice, and I decide to attack with my Cursed Spirit. Because the Cockatrice is black, and my Cursed Spirit is black, he can use his black mana card to block my black mana card, because they share the same color. And same thing goes for a artifact card. Let's say that this this retarded unicorn? No, oh sorry, pearled unicorn. The pearled unicorn, not retarded. It's not a retarded unicorn. Say this pearled unicorn right here. The glare is kind of messing it up from the camera. I am so sorry for this. It's not my fault. It's Billy's. Billy, fix the glare. That sounds like more a horse. Alright, let's say I attack with my Cursed Spirit and this pearl, let's just call it retarded unicorn. No, pearled. Let's say this unicorn is a artifact. Because by definition, a creature with Intimidate cannot be blocked except by artifact, and are creatures that share color with it, he can use the artifact creature to block the Accursed Spirit. Seems pretty cool, right? So, we went over 2 creatures right now, so let's move on to the next. You see how much better that is, Billy? The glare's gone. Alright, so we went over Intimidate with you. That's pretty good, right? So let's move on to the next ability. We have with us Deathtouch. Now, with this Deathgaze Cockatrice, what we were using last time, there's an eye on it. No, it's just its face. Alright, flying Deathtouch. I already went over flying, meaning that it cannot be blocked except if the creature controls a flying creature or something with reach. But then it has that little ability called Deathtouch. Deathtouch in definition means a creature dealt damage by this creature is instantly destroyed. So, for example, if my opponent, because it has flying, attacks with Sarah Angel, you know what, actually, let's say I attack with my Deathgaze Cockatrice. Look, it's the 2/2 with Deathtouch. My opponent decides to block with a 3/3. Now, again, by definition, 3 damage will have been dealt to the Deathgaze Cockatrice to its 2 life. This would be dead. And this will deal 2 damage to the 3 life. But because this card has Deathtouch, it will instantly kill this card. So, that's the rule of Deathtouch. I will go over it in a review if you still quite don't understand. Retarded unicorn. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's move on to the... make myself laugh. Move on to the next creature. We will move on to Double Strike from my 2-headed Cerebrus, or Cerberus, or Bear, whatever the name is called. It's a hound with 2 heads, okay? Now, 2-headed Cerebrus has Double Strike. Now, if you remember my old, clear my throat. If you remember the first video, First Strike meant that this creature deals damage before any other creatures without First Strike do. Double Strike is something along those lines. But Double Strike in definition means that a creature with Double Strike deals damage twice each combat. Once before creatures without First Strike, or Double Strike, and then again with when creatures normally deal damage. So, This creature, how it's a 1/2, when it's blocking or attacking, it will actually deal 2 damage. Let me just explain this. So if I have two-headed Cerberus on the field, and my opponent has Sarah Angel and a Johnny Sunstraka, and he attacks with my his Johnny Sunstriker. It is a if you can see it. It is a 2/2, and my two-headed Cerberus is a 1/2. And I decide to block the Johnny Sunstriker with my two-headed Cerberus. Now, if it didn't have double strike, it would have the Hound would deal 1 damage to the Sunstriker, and Sunstriker will deal 2 damage. Now, because this card right here, has double strike, it will deal 1 damage before this card can deal any damage. And then it would move on to the second one. This card will deal 1 damage again to this card, while this card deals 2 damage to this one. Regular combat. So like it deals damage like first strike, it deals first damage 1, and then again it will deal another damage with the other one deals damage. So let's say this Vorstclaw here has double strike, and he blocks a retarded unicorn. Woo, retarded unicorn. Sorry. And so it will deal 7 damage to this card before it can deal any damage. And then this card will deal 7 more damage to the retarded unicorn, while the retarded unicorn deals 2 damage to the Vorstclaw. I'll go through a review if you don't quite understand that. But let's move on to our last creature card of the day, and that one is Regenerate. Now, this is the Regenerate card, the Death Bellow Raider, or Death Bellow, or whatever you nerds like to call it. You see how it has that, forget the first one, but you see in the light how it says Regenerate Death Bellow Raider? So that means that when this creature dies, it comes back to life. It's basically like a zombie, but it doesn't become a zombie. So I have 3 mana here. And let's say my opponent has Sarah Angel, a 3/3, if you want to see that. Flying, Vigilance, 3/3. And because this creature has to attack each turn, as said in the text, which is the first one right here, Death Bellow attacks each turn if available. Now, so I, of course, have to tap the creature, and I have to attack. My opponent uses the Sarah Angel to block the Death Bellow Raider. Right, now, this is a 2/3, this is a 3/3. This will 3 damage to the life of the 3 health. This will deal 2 damage to the 3 health. So the Death Bellow Raider will be dead, and the Sarah Angel, Avenger, will be stay alive. This Death Bellow Raider card has Regenerate. So when this card dies, if you pay the cost right there and then, which is 3 mana, 1, 2, 3, I tap it, this card can stay on the field. But when I regenerate it, you have to leave that card tapped until your next turn. But let's say you don't have enough. So you only have there you go. Very good. Okay, let's say you only have 2 mana and this card just died. You cannot pay that cost because you don't have enough, and it goes into your graveyard. While this card is in your graveyard, you cannot use its regenerate cost. Once it's in your graveyard, the regenerate no longer exists. You have to pay the regenerate cost at the time of its death. So if it dies, you pay the 3, and it stays in the battlefield, tapped. There you go. Now, let's continue on to a intermission while I clean things up. Here is Retarded Unicorn giving you a little dance. Well, I think Retarded Unicorn is dead. Yeah. He will be missed. Stay after the video to see just a short memorabilia for Retarded Unicorn. Okay, so I went over. Everything's crooked. It's fine. I went over some, just some actually not basic, some more in-detailed card abilities that you will find while you are playing Magic the Gathering. So today I went over Haste, Regenerate, Double Strike, Deathtouch, and Intimidate. Huh, you intimidate? Sorry, that was out of line. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned from these experiences. This is Overlord 86700. Hey guys, thanks for watching, thanks for your patience. Yeah, after this you should watch the rest of my videos and put down a nice comment down over here on those lines right there. Okay, it'd be great for the comeback. Give me some ideas about some more videos you would like me to make. This is Overlord 86700. Have a good day, evening. If you're at a zoo, do not feed the meerkat exhibit. Trust me, that's one of the worst mistakes I've ever made. I don't even know. But what I do know is that you should not have sex with horses, and you should subscribe to me. This is Overlord 86700 saying thank you, good night, and signing off. Hey, make sure you check out the rest of my videos. This is Magic the Gathering. Stay tuned for the Retarded Unicorn Memorial Service. Special thanks to my sexy hands, Vorstclaw, and Billy the Goat. Woo! I'm back! Woo!